It's already terrible that boarding school students Samantha and Clara are unable to leave home during the holidays. But things get even worse when a violent gang shows up on their doorstep right before Christmas. What would happen next? Spoiler ahead. Watch out! The film begins on December 22nd, 1971, 3 days before Christmas, with some individuals monitoring a young couple's home in a tiny town in Canada. These four people then approach the house, and when the husband opens the door, one of them violently stabs him to death. The terrified wife is then restricted, stripped naked, and stabbed. Some markings on her stomach suggest that the killings were ritualistic. The next scene takes us to Blackvale Academy, an all-girls boarding school. Clara, a teenager, awakens immediately from her sleep. She peeks out the window and sees one of her peers, Samantha, getting ready for a jog. Samantha is the reserve girl at school who is frequently mocked by her peers. The scenario then shifts to history class, where Miss Rose is discussing witches. She says that a devastating fire happened several decades ago, destroying this village and leaving only 4 survivors, who blamed the occurrence on a witch. Clara's wrecked hands capture Samantha's attention at this point. Later, during lunch, the girls discuss the recent killings that have terrified the area. One of them carried a newspaper headline revealing that the Christmas killers had murdered 3 families this week. A popular girl adds that they always utilize the same pattern. They choose a house with a good couple, cut up them with knives, and peel portions of their bodies. The winter vacations begin tomorrow, and the majority of the girls are delighted that they will be able to return home and escape all of this chaos. Clara, on the other hand, has never spent the holidays at home, has no friends, and spent most of her time drawing quietly. Most girls believe she is an orphan, although no one has ever proved it. Meanwhile, Rose visits her lover Jimmy, who is employed as a cook at the same school. Rose says that her students are aware of their relationship. Samantha appears to be packing her bags that night, excited to return home and spend time with her loved ones after months apart. Unfortunately, she receives a call straight from her stepfather with terrible news. He will be unable to pick her up tomorrow. This means Samantha will have to spend her holidays alone at school. Samantha cries after the call ends and goes to the bathroom to spend some alone time. Then she notices a frightening sight. Clara is cutting her own hands using a knife and leaves without explanation. 2 nights before Christmas, the same 4 murderers enter a local church and seize the priest. The group's leader, Jude, lifts the priest's shirt to show a mark on his stomach. This confirms they have located the target they were seeking. Jude uses a knife to cut open the man's tummy and extract an area of skin. Once the job is completed, Grant, another man in the group, kills the priest by pulling his neck. Back at school, Clara awakens from another nightmare to discover her pals leaving for the holidays. Jimmy was appointed to take them to the local train station, where he puts a lovely ring in his pocket, indicating that he will be proposing to Rose. Rose, Samantha, and Clara are now the only individuals left at school. The kids are disappointed, yet Rose assures them that they are going to have a nice time. Samantha continues to remain upset at her stepfather's betrayal. The girl then discloses that her stepfather told her that she should check this place for the period of 1 semester. But now she knows he is unwilling to deal with her. The kind teacher improves Samantha's emotions by promising her that she will be able to live independently in the future. The teacher then instructs her to go to the basement to retrieve some vodka. Samantha walks carefully downstairs, looking a little nervous because it's her first time here. She searches around for a few minutes before finding the vodka, but as soon as she sips 1 or 2 sips, Clara surprises her from behind. Clara states that she normally arrives here to read library books. According to her, the books found there are prohibited, and the teachers do not permit anyone to read them. Samantha then apologizes for getting into Clara last night, claiming she didn't notice anything, but the girl claims there was indeed nothing taking place. Clara, after a few sips of vodka, inquires as to how Samantha's mother died. That surprises the girl because her mother's death was kept private, but Samantha reveals that her mom died during a car accident a few years ago. On the other hand, we observe the Christmas killers driving somewhere. Jude and Maisie are having a loving moment. Doug, another crew member, is driving, but his attention is visibly preoccupied by what is going on behind him. At that moment, suddenly a deer appears out of nowhere, causing an accident. They moved it to the side of the road and got ready to go. But at that moment, a police officer comes on the scene. As he questions the group about the accident, he notices a strange piece of human skin on the road. Before the officer is able to react, Grant pushes him from behind, and Doug is shot in the arm too. Jude shoots the policeman to death, while Clara wakes from another nightmare. She appears to be related to the murders in a particular manner. Later in the evening, Samantha and Clara accompany Miss Rose Rose, who has prepared a delicious dinner. She is doing all that she can to make the girls feel at home. However, someone unexpectedly appears at the door. The famous killing crew has come there to treat Doug's wound on the arm. Rose is clearly uneasy about allowing them inside, yet the gang insists. Maisie even adds that she attended the exact same school and graduated in 1964, with her picture on the wall. It's the night before Christmas, and Rose lets them in and starts stitching up Doug's wound so they can leave straight away. Unfortunately, once the treatment is complete, the gang refuses to depart. Jude gets more upset and says that the others are here for dinner. When Rose realizes they're in danger, she gets a pair of scissors and aims it at them. Rose orders the children to run away, but rather than going out the front entrance, Clara moves deeper inside the structure. Samantha follows her into the church chamber. When Doug approaches outside, the two cover beneath the chairs, trying to remain hidden. Unfortunately, he effortlessly captures and grasps Samantha. Clara approaches him, holding a knife, as if she intends to attack him. Then as the guy threatens to snap Samantha's neck, she gives him the knife, enabling him to catch both of them. Rose has managed to lock herself inside a room. She attempts to reach out for assistance over the phone, but the connection seems to be dead. Just then, her boyfriend Jimmy arrives outside of the residence and discovers the unusual vehicle parked nearby. Rose also contacts him via the window, but Grant approaches from behind and knocks him unconscious. Soon later, Jude smashes over the door and drags Rose away. The following scene reveals attackers tying up everyone in the dining area. It's Christmas Eve and Jude's group looks forward to the meal. They start eating while the hapless hostages watch in fear. A few moments later, Jude questions Rose whether she loves Jimmy. When she says yes, he discloses Jimmy has something for her. He goes to release the man so that he may propose to her. Yet as soon as Jimmy is free, he attempts to attack the man in power. Jude responds by slicing his throat, murdering him in agony. Everyone is taken surprised by this, but Clara appears unmoved. Jude concludes the dinner by handing Rose the ring that her lover had purchased for her. Afterward, the kidnappers lead the girls into the main hall, where Jude begins playing mind games. He opens the gifts that Rose left for them. Samantha is given a beautiful outfit and is compelled to wear it in front of everyone, whereas Clara simply smiles at her. Clara, on the other hand, was given a travel book, as she hadn't left school for a long time. Following that, they slowly draw a circle of blood around all of the bits of skin they grabbed from their victims. Jude begins revealing their plan. He initially mentions that gods and devils are pleased by sacrifice and not with prayers. Jude claims that if they summon the demon, they will become immortal. Maisie then confesses that she actually used to visit the Forbidden Library on a regular basis while attending Blackvale School. She discovered the book, which contained the instructions for summoning the demon. The authorities discovered her actions and pushed her out, although she managed to take a page that included all of the information she needed. Over the years, she encountered guys with similar objectives and opinions. Every life used and every drop of blood spilled is part of the plan. To conclude the ritual, they just have to kill a single innocent soul. Meanwhile, Rose is busily cutting open her bondage using the ring. She finally breaks free, but Jude strikes her unconscious before Rose can reach for a weapon. He leads her to the ritual circle and savagely stabs the teacher. However, after Rose dies, nothing appears. The team is shocked given that they expected the demon to be summoned. Doug begins to wonder whether they engaged in a killing spree for no reason at all, but Maisie is convinced that they ignored a key step. As a result, Jude and Maisie go down into the basement to inspect the magic book. When they leave, Clara asks Doug what he really wants if the demon is summoned. Doug remains doubtful that killing a group of people with the same mark on their stomachs can summon a demon. Finally, he admits he wants Maisie. However, Jude is the only one who gets to spend all of his time with her. Stressed by Clara's question, he questions where the liquor is, so Samantha sends him to the basement, leaving the girls under Grant's supervision. Clara suddenly claims that Grant only decided to join this insane gang because he is a soldier who needs instructions and loves missions, considering that she is aware of the fact that is an ex-military. She quickly approaches him and whispers. Strangely, the words can be heard throughout the hall, so each one of the kidnappers may hear it clearly. Clara immediately takes off her clothes, showing many markings on her body. She instructs Grant to release Samantha, and for an unknown reason, he agrees. Clara has clearly hypnotized him, and Clara informs Samantha that she has to depart immediately or suffer death. Clara then pours the blood of one of the group's victims to Grant's face, assuring him immortality if he adheres to her commands. Downstairs, Maisie resumes her investigation and discovers that they made a huge mistake. It was not a summoning ritual. She assumed they had come here to summon the demon, but the demon had always been present. It drew them here to let it free. We further witness Clara, who is executing a threatening dance routine in the center of the room. Returning to Maisie, she examines her old yearbook at the library, which shockingly contains a picture of Clara. Once she looks at all of the photographs on the wall, it clearly reveals that Clara is the demon. She has attended this school for many generations, given that she is unable to leave her body, which is why she appears familiar. However, now that her killers have made multiple sacrifices, she seems to be on the edge of escape. Now there is only one tribute left, the blood of the guilty. At this moment, Jude appears insane and believes he is the demon. He also begins fighting with Doug in order to show his authority, but then an entirely affected Grant appears and separates them. Maisie flees for her life and runs to Clara, who is finally caught. At last, we come back to Samantha, who finds a payphone and promptly informs the authorities regarding the situation. Yet that girl is unwilling to stand by for a long time, so she picks a weapon and enters the house to rescue her friend. Clara has turned the tables in the dining room, and she is now the person who initiates the ritual. She begins by revealing her backstory. Many years ago, the residents of this town attempted to summon her by starting fires everywhere. However, they quickly changed their minds because they were unsure about what they were about to get themselves into. Clara became stuck in this house, unable to die or leave its premises. However, as the years went, she adopted the appearance of a student and started to control others. Maisie discovered the ritual book after she placed it in the library. She requires one final offering to be free, the blood of the guilty. However, the tough part is that 4 of these individuals should harm themselves or each other. She then instructs Grant to start the torture of the tied-up criminals. Grant, the strong man, first slashes Jude's ear as the sacrifice before chopping off Doug's fingers. Grant also tortures himself, and then he stabs Doug and Jude in the chest, killing both immediately. Now it's Maisie's turn to be sacrificed, but as Grant prepares to kill her, she begins manipulating him. This appears to have an impact on Grant, so he decides to take his life. Samantha rushes through the entrance, claiming that she came to save Clara, and Maisie escapes Clara's ritual. Samantha then examines the ritual book and discovers that Clara is a demon. Clara is right now attempting to manipulate Maisie's mind in order to drive her insane and commit suicide. Samantha, confused by the whole thing that is going on, requests that she stop. She repeatedly disturbs her concentration, enabling Maisie to get to the front door, which Clara manages to shut. Clara is upset because Samantha interrupted her ritual. Samantha agrees to help her. Clara requests that Samantha release her by killing Maisie. When the entrance door opens, Samantha stabs Maisie in the back with an axe, killing her. This fulfills the ritual, and Clara can finally leave her school after decades. The movie ends with the cops arriving at the scene and inspecting the bodies, whereas Samantha and Clara leave to explore the world together. We really hope you enjoyed today's recap of the movie The Sacrifice Game. Please leave a comment below on what you loved about the movie and why. Be sure to like the video, and please don't forget to support our channel by subscribing so you don't miss any amazing content. Until next time, light, camera, action. We look forward to seeing you in our next video.